The Salvation Army. The Salvation Army began when a London minister, William Booth, wanted to save the souls of humanity in the slums of industrialized cities. He and his wife began this mission in 1865 to provide a means of ministry to the poor, homeless, and hungry. The Salvation Army has a military structure. All are under the authority of the general, with highly trained officers, and the heart of the army being the soldiers and volunteers. Doing the most good. The Salvation Army is an international movement. Operating in 126 different countries, the Salvation Army provides disaster relief, food distribution, rehabilitation centers for alcoholics, juvenile delinquents, and ex-prisoners, as well as homes for sexually abused women and a great deal of children's programs throughout the entire world.
William Booth's approach to missionary efforts followed four basic principles: evangelism, cultural adaptation, self-support, and self-propagation. At the forefront of his principles was spreading the word of God to those less fortunate in order to save their souls from sin. They did not view the world as civilized and uncivilized regions, and were dedicated in their efforts to adapt to the various cultures they encountered. One way they accomplished this was through music. By connecting sacred words found in the Bible to common indigenous songs, they were able to communicate with the locals in a way that built trust and understanding. Next, Booth's emphasis on self-support was difficult for many officers, being that there was no guaranteed salaries, but Booth was adamant that this approach would be best. Knowing that the Salvationist intentions were pure and did not require material compensation, only furthered the locals' trust in the message being presented. And lastly, self-propagation drove Salvationists to convert at least one person to the Christian faith each year, in an effort to multiply the bond between God and his people. These four basic principles allowed the Salvation Army to expand their efforts throughout the world. Salvationists have proven that their compassion for human life and religious influence were not only welcomed in many parts of the world, but their impact sparked a collection of movements aimed to aid the less fortunate, such as the YMCA and organized Sunday school programs. The Y focuses on improving the mind, body, and spirit of its participants of all ages, while Sunday school was meant to better the community by developing morals and faith in its younger members. This shared concern for the total person further emphasizes how we can spread the word of God through acts of human kindness. As natural disasters, human corruption, and poverty have occurred over the past 150 years, the Salvation Army has been there whenever possible, and in doing so has set the standard for missionary efforts throughout the world. What began in the deprived neighborhoods of London, England, now expands to over 120 countries, offering a variety of services. With an open heart, we can communicate with one another through almost any cultural barrier for the sake of doing good in someone's time of need. Because of this, the Salvation Army continues to be guided by love and bonded by their religious vows while in pursuit of extending humanity to all. A man may be down, but he's never out, thanks to the Salvation Army.